Let's make a video. This time I hope I am in focus for my A cam. I'm going to make a video about why camera companies need to make this certain camera. Make it! Make it! I'm recording on the RX0, the A5100, and the Z-Cam E1, and I'm testing the Z-Cam E1 if it could hold, if it could record for a longer duration, and the A5100 is supposed to be my A-Cam if I'm not out of focus because it's f0.95, and then the RX0 is for my sound. And I think I've finally discovered what I need, which is a live stream recording device where I could just plug in HDMI and then have all the files in an SD rather than 3 SD cards that I have to sync up the sound and everything. All right, so this is the camera that I think Panasonic and Fujifilm should make. If you've seen the latest camera from Hasselblad, the 970 C100V or something like that. Which one stopped recording? All right, so the A5100 died on me. And it's only U2 that I'm relying on. So the Hasselblad C100 is the camera that inspired me to make this video. And that is, there is a lack of new form body factors from other camera companies, and they all have this old DSLR body design, the conventional, if I can say it, it's conventional camera body design. And I think there was a time, one point, where camera companies are innovating in their form design, and I think the one that still does that, who still tries to find new form factors, it's Canon. Once there was a time when camera companies tried to do innovative things for their camera bodies, and I think it's more towards the point and shoot segment. However, for the professional, usually they stay in the same guidelines of DSLR form factor. But the Hasselblad have this square box form factor, and I think the box form factor is more common in the cinema space, but not in the consumer or consumer pro. Well, maybe consumer pro, but consumer space, it's not common. And I think Hasselblad released a camera that is very beautifully designed, and it's boxy. It have an LCD in the back, and it have a 1 terabyte SSD. And I think that monitor goes 90 degrees from any angle you could. If you would take a picture vertically, then you would just flatten out the LCD monitor. However, if you want to get a lower angle, you would put it at 90 degrees and then, yeah. For a top down, you would do it 90 degrees and then you would just hold it over your head. So I think the 90 degrees is a good viewing angle, unless you want top down portrait. Then you would have a problem because you can't see what you're doing, and then in that situation you have to be on a ladder to take the picture or at a higher ground. I think that is a good form factor. The box is a good form factor if it's designed really well. And Panasonic have their BGH1 and their BS1H, and that is the prosumer to the pro consumer. No, the prosumer is pro consumer. So the box camera design is nowhere. It's not available for the consumers, to the common consumer, and I think we need one. And I think the one that could make the best design box camera for a consumer is Fujifilm. Fujifilm would be the best one. The company that have the design, what is it? Acumen? Design, I don't know. They would be the one that would make the perfectly designed box camera with their APS, for their APS-C lineup. And that would fill also for the prosumer of the Fuji lineup. So Fujifilm can make a box camera for the people who like to make videos, more video centric. However, I wouldn't want the box camera to lose the picture taking quality also, because Hasselblad is a more photo centric camera. And then Fuji can make a box design for the GFX line, the medium format. They can make it for the APS-C line. The sensor that I wish they would use is the stacked shutter. However, I do like the sensor, the old sensor with the faster processor, which is the XS20. That would be fine also for a consumer level video-centric camera that I wish they will not take the photographic element from it. And the next thing that I want is the box camera from Panasonic. They would upgrade their lineup. They would add to their lineup. They currently have the micro four thirds, and then they have the full frame. And I wish they would update it with specs similar to the S5 IIX. And that is the camera that I am saving up for to buy this end of this year. However, I am hoping they would make a box camera with the S5 IIX specs. Now, the things that you lose in that box cinema camera for the Panasonic S1H and the BG1H is the IBIS. And I think that is a mistake if they would take that out, because I would want to handheld my box camera. And I'm not a gimbal guy, so I would prefer the IBIS to still be inside that box camera. The next thing that I really don't care about is the SDI input. I don't think I have a need for the SDI input. And the monitor, well, the monitor, I think it would be small if it was at that size, and you wouldn't be able to see anyway what you're shooting with a small monitor. Taking my experience from the RX0, from the Z-Cam E1, and even from the A5100, it's very hard to monitor while you're using a manual lens to see if you're in focus or not. However, if it is autofocus, if you're using native L-mount lenses that have autofocus, I don't think that would be a problem. You don't need to monitor it that much, and that's when you really you use it as a mobile rig where you want to travel as light as possible. And I think there's a market for it. I hope I'm not the only one, the only consumer. However, there is a big, I have to make a big disclaimer, because I personally feel that I am a harbinger of failure, failed products. And I have this tendency to be attracted to products that will eventually fail. That's what basically a harbinger of failure is. And just looking at the history of products that I have, there are many of them that are failed products. The RXO, I think RX0 is included as a failed product. I think it's discontinued, unless maybe Sony one day update it with a stack sensor. Stack sensor and IBIS and the latest digital stabilization tech. That would be good for the RX0 in the future, if there is one coming. And then the Z-Cam E1, I think the Z-Cam E1 is a discontinued product as well. And the A5100, well, that's not really failed, because the ZVE10 is similar to the A5100. However, I chose the A5100. I used to have a ZVE10 and I sold it, and I picked the A5100 because the sensors is still the same. I don't think I would gain anything from the ZVE10 by that much, and I think I'm satisfied with the A5100. With its image quality and so on. Right? So to sum up, the camera that I want Panasonic to make is a continued version of the BGH1 and S1H. However, it is based on the S5 IIX. And then I hope Fujifilm makes a very sexy X100V-like box camera that would cater to the consumer, but also to the prosumer. All right,